Hey everyone, I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show. Alright, first of all, you may have seen that some stuff from the couch is missing. That is because I had a party last night, and some of the people who were there would like a shout out. So big shout out to my god sister Scout and my girls Rebecca and Jenna. Thank you guys for watching and being so supportive of me. Now let's get on to the business, shall we? I think we shall. So this week, obviously it's Christmas Eve, which means obviously tomorrow is Christmas. So I want to talk to you about how to brave the parks at Christmas. Because as we all know, Walt Disney World, especially Magic Kingdom, gets pretty crowded this time of year. So you gotta plan your day wisely. So we were actually at the parks on Christmas Eve back in 2009, and we kind of did it a bit differently than anyone else would. So we were staying at Fort Wilderness, and I did the last thing anyone up here in Maine would ever want to do on Christmas Eve, and that is swim in a pool. That's right. In Florida, you can get away with that. But anyway, so I spent that morning soaking in the pool, then went back to our cabin, watched some Rankin Bass Christmas specials. Again, back when ABC Family / Freeform had variety. And then we went to the park because we had a dinner at Cinderella's Royal Table. So, here's what you want to do. You want to do as much as you can on Christmas before things get way crowded, because everyone wants to, have their Christmas dinner at either the Castle or Tony's or Crystal Palace. And everyone wants to see the parade. Everyone wants to see the stage show. Everyone wants to see the reindeer wranglers. Well, they should. So make sure you plan your schedule carefully and try not to get super stressed out, because it's the happiest time of the year, but for some people it's also the most stressful time of year. So ease yourself. I know it's Christmas, but just ease yourself, okay? So anyway, that's my tip. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, and I'll make sure it gets to a future episode. Now it's time for this week's Top 5. So, one of our favorite Christmas traditions is watch the Disney Parks Christmas Parade. And over the years, the parade has had many great hosts. So this year, we're going to cover my top 5 Disney Parade hosts. All right, number 5, Ryan Seacrest. Now, Ryan has hosted the parade for about 6 years. He's hosted the parade portions at Disneyland in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2009. And the last year he did it, 2010, he was hosting in Walt Disney World. And he was a good host. He not as good as the other hosts on my list, but he was pretty good. Number 4, the man, the myth, the legend, Regis Philbin. Regis was a part of the parade since the very beginning. He started out as a co-host, talking to guests on the street back when the parade was a broadcast live. And then he got upgraded to being a host, sitting alongside Joan London, who many of you may not know was one of the early hosts of Good Morning America. And then he took a couple years off, then came back with Kelly Ripa as his sitting next to him, and they've worked together in the parade for about 8 years. But then he skipped 2009 due to illness. But of course, I think they should have paid tribute to Regis after he passed in 2020, along with just a low key Disney Christmas celebration due to COVID. But I miss Reg. I'm sure a lot of people missed him the year he didn't do it. Rest in peace, Regis. Number 3, Mario Lopez. Now, Mario, perhaps one of the coolest actors in the world. Of course, from Saved by the Bell. He was also a drummer on Kids Incorporated. Still, why is that not on Disney Plus? And of course, his daughter Gio, I think, was on the Disney Channel show Just Roll With It. And Mario hosted the parade twice. In 2011, he hosted the Walt Disney World portion. And in 2012, he hosted the Disneyland portion. Because he enjoyed switching portions with the host, who is number 2, Nick Cannon. Now, Nick, of course, known for his work in Nickelodeon, America's Got Talent, Wild 'N Out, and The Masked Singer. And Nick started out as a co-host back in 2009 as Kelly's co-host. Then he got upgraded to an official parade host in 2010, hosting the Disneyland portions. Then he hosted that portion again in 2011. In 2012, he hosted the Walt Disney World portion. In 2013, he hosted the Disneyland portion, while the host of the Walt Disney World portions was hosted by number 1 on our list, Neil Patrick Harris. He only hosted the show once, so you're probably wondering, if he only hosted the show once, why is he at number 1? The answer is, Are You Ready for Christmas? Perhaps the greatest intro to a Disney parade show ever. And they need to do that song again and bring him back for it. If not this year, then maybe next year. If not next year, then maybe the year after that. I'm just rambling on at this point. But anyway, Neil rocks. And of course, the Hoff siblings are hosting again this year. They do an okay job, and I know Sherry Cola is hosting the Disneyland portion. I still wish they still had parade portions at Walt Disney World rather than just the performances, because it started out as the Walt Disney World Christmas Parade, but now it's the Disney Parks Christmas Parade, and I think they should do, if not both portions, then just the Walt Disney World portion, because it's where the show started. Am I right? Of course I'm right. So anyway, let me know in the comments who your favorite parade host is, and now you know what's coming. It's time to find out what Christmas specials you guys can be on the lookout for today and tomorrow. Now, again, these are just my recommendations, and these are Eastern Zone times. So check your local listings for timings for these if you don't live in the Eastern Zones. All right, so today, December 24th, Christmas Eve, on ABC, we have Home Alone at 8 p.m. On Freeform, we have Home Alone 2, Lost in New York at 2 p.m. Santa Claus is Coming to Town at 4 p.m. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at 5:45 p.m. Frosty the Snowman at 6:50 p.m. The Santa Claus at 7:20 p.m. and the Santa Claus 2 at 9:30 p.m. And, of course, tomorrow, the big day, Christmas Day, on ABC, we were just talking about this. The Disney Parks Magical Christmas Day Parade on ABC at 10 a.m. So set your DVRs, just in case. On Freeform, we have Home Alone at 7 a.m. and again at 9 p.m. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York at 9:30 a.m. And I'm sure right after the 9 p.m. showing of Home Alone as well. We have Frosty the Snowman at 2 p.m. The Santa Claus at 2:30 p.m. The Santa Claus 2, The Escape Clause at 4:30 p.m. And to wrap up the season, it looks like the Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause at 7 p.m. And believe it or not, that is all of the big Christmas specials of the year. Again, I wish Freeform had more variety, like they did in the past when it was ABC Family. But let me know in the comments what specials you're looking forward to. And anyway, that's our show. Make sure, as I said, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure it gets to a future episode. For this week's shoutouts, make sure you guys check out Julie, her Facebook group Dream to Stream. She tries to do as many live streams as she can on there. She is also a cast member at Disney's Hollywood Studios, so if you don't notice her streaming as much, that is why. But definitely join her group so you can see some top-notch streaming. Also, speaking of top-notch, make sure you check out my buddy Mike over at Mousepiration. I'm sure he is doing much better since his fender bender last month, and we all look forward to seeing new vlogs from him in the new year. Of course, I'll be seeing him somewhere in the new year. Also, make sure you guys check out Matt and Goo over at Goo to You. They live streamed yesterday with the train coming back finally. So definitely check those guys out. Also, make sure you guys check out Ear to Ear Magic. He also does some great live streams from the parks as well. He was also there yesterday when the train came back. So glad the train is back, by the way. For the latest Disney news and gossip, make sure you guys check out WDW Magazine. If you haven't subscribed to the Big John Network, what in the Walt Disney World are you waiting for? Tap the bell for notifications. And I wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And may the mouse be with you.